Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Tonight at 10, Connecticut State Police is investigating a potential scam involving Petric's family funeral homes.
They're investigating allegations of financial misconduct by owner Philip Petric. The Petric family owns funeral homes in East Windsor, Vernon, Coventry, and Tolland. Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. Fox 61's Stefan Reels has gone through numerous state documents regarding the allegations and has more now on what's been uncovered by investigators so far.
At the moment, we don't know the identities of the victims who state police say were involved with this scam, but state documents actually help clear up the picture just a little bit. Now, we do know that there are at least 9 families who say that they lost out on tens of thousands of dollars in funeral services for their deceased loved ones that they never got. And now state police say they are investigating to see if any other victims are involved.
Petric's license will be suspended to such time as we hold a hearing on this matter.
This was the moment when the Board of Examiners of Embalmers and Funeral Directors suspended Philip Petric's license. Petric is being investigated by Connecticut State Police, and he's accused of misusing money paid by funeral home clients on things like casinos, hotels, and flights across the country.
There are currently a number of complaints. There are 10 clients identified in the statement of charges. All of them had prepaid funeral arrangements.
The investigation into Petric and his funeral homes has been going on since last October, but it wasn't until this past April when officials say he turned himself into state police on theft charges. 8 victims were listed in the state's affidavit, where police say Petric spent $71,000 that was supposed to go to escrow accounts. But that money apparently never made it to those accounts. Troopers say more than $81,000 is missing overall. Victims are said to have lost anywhere between $4,500 to more than $15,000 each. The state criminal investigation summary showed the ages and locations of 9 different victims. The youngest is a 43-year-old from Ellington, the oldest an 83-year-old from Bolton. On the funeral home's website, Petric is listed as a proud member of the Connecticut Funeral Directors Association. However, in a statement to Fox 61, Association Executive Director Jesse Gomez says that's not true at all. Gomez said, "This is very unusual, and we are not aware of this ever happening in any CFDA member funeral home in Connecticut. Please be aware that the accused and his funeral homes are not members of the Connecticut Funeral Directors Association. If it is true, this unfortunate situation is extremely disheartening for the families involved, but there are safeguards that consumers can take to ensure that their funds for prepaid funerals are properly and safely deposited and managed." Now, we have reached out to the Petric family funeral home to see if they had a statement on the situation, but no one has gotten back to us at this time. The next hearing on Petric's license won't be until May 21st, but if you're worried about if you're at risk or if you're involved, we have a list of what steps you need to take next on fox61.com. In Vernon, Stefan Reels, Fox 61.
Let's get a check on the weather now. There were a few showers outside today, and we have a few more on the way for the rest of the work week.
You can feel it in the air out there. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is joining us now. So, Rachel, is there a chance for rain tomorrow?
Yes, and I think it'll be similar to today, where most of the time will be dry, but occasionally we could see a shower or even a rumble of thunder. And we've got some showers out there tonight. And have you noticed it started to feel just a little bit more humid out there as well? And that'll be the case as we head through the next couple of days. Noticing a brief heavier downpour here through Wallingford, Cheshire, Wolcott, and even though we have these showers out here, we've got some through Killingworth and Old Saybrook. We're not talking about any flooding issues tonight, just enough to really wet the ground. Canton and Avon seeing some wet weather, and as we widen things out, you'll see more showers coming in from the south. And I think it will be a damp start to the day tomorrow with the chance for an early shower, but we're going to get a lot of these downpours out of here through the overnight, and by tomorrow morning, it's just a little bit damp. We're looking at cloudy skies, areas of patchy fog, the chance for a shower, and we might even break for a little bit of sun as we head through the afternoon, kind of similar to today. But it's another mild night. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s right now. Clouds and fog break for some sun, with the chance for a pop-up shower or storm in spots on Thursday. We'll take a look at how much longer we have to keep the umbrellas near us coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, an 11-year-old child's recovering tonight. They were hit by a car while on a bike this morning. Police say it happened just before 8 on Old Colony Drive. They were taken to the hospital. The driver stopped and were told they are cooperating with police. The cause of the crash there is still under investigation. An update tonight in New London. Police arrested a man in connection to a deadly shooting. Investigators say they took Navari Ziegler into custody today in North Providence, Rhode Island. He's charged with murder and several other crimes. Police were called to Moore Avenue for a shooting one night in March. When they got to the scene, they found 20-year-old Avery Rivera, who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital and he eventually died.
A Brantford father who is accused of killing his son pleaded not guilty today to a charge that he attempted to murder his 16-year-old daughter as well. 52-year-old Anthony Esposito entered that plea today during a short court appearance. He did not enter a plea on the murder charge connected to his son's death. Police say Esposito admitted to beating his 12-year-old son to death with a baseball bat earlier this month because his son was being, quote, disrespectful. Police say Esposito also told them he would have killed his daughter that day, too, if he could have reached the bat. Well, a man has been sentenced to 45 years in prison after he was convicted of fatally shooting another man in New Haven. Police say 26-year-old Jason Flowers shot Howard Lewis during an incident on Munson Street in 2020. They said Flower got into a shootout with somebody else and that Lewis was an innocent bystander who was just picking up his child from a hair appointment.
A Fox follow-up tonight from the state capitol. State lawmakers are running out of time this legislative session. This week, the General Assembly is discussing the Just Cause bill. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot talked to a group that is fighting for eviction protections for everyone.
Calls to support what's being called the Just Cause bill are louder than ever. If passed, this bill would protect tenants from being evicted from their homes for no reason.
Someone like me, I have no eviction protection. Where am I supposed to go? And this can happen to any one of us that are renters here in the state of Connecticut. 2, 3, 4.
Tenants are calling on the House leadership to bring House Bill 6889 to a vote. Connecticut's Just Cause law requires landlords to provide justification in order to evict tenants over the age of 62 or tenants with disabilities. Other renters don't have that protection, which is why people want the law expanded to include all renters.
I don't understand how this is legal.
Fox 61 spoke with Josephina Cruz last week after she says she was given an eviction notice for no reason. Wednesday afternoon, she was back at the state capitol speaking up.
To me, this is very important. I could be homeless at the end of this month. I really hope that they pass this bill because to get a letter after you've been paying your rent, you've been doing everything right, you haven't been causing any problems for any other people in your area or your neighborhood, and just to get a letter that you have to leave, it just doesn't make sense.
Others like Fable Bowlry showed up Wednesday as well to represent marginalized groups.
For trans persons such as myself, a landlord can evict me based on discriminatory reasons and just say it's a no-cause eviction.
Organizers say they don't understand why it's taking so long for the bill to be expanded and passed. And the hope is it gets addressed before the General Assembly adjourns in a couple weeks.
More people are housing cost burdened in 2025 than they were in the 1990s. And just how shameful that is for that to be the direction that our state is moving in. And yet, for the lack of urgency for so many in that building who are letting another legislative session go by without taking really meaningful action on this issue.
Luke Melanakos Harrison, an organizer with Connecticut Tenants Union, says without this bill, more people could end up unhoused in our state. The last day of the legislative session is June 4th. In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. And new tonight, a new initiative in the city of Waterbury is offering solutions for families looking for more options when it comes to child care. This comes on the same day that rallies were held around the state pointing to Connecticut's ongoing child care crisis. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro shows us what this new child care incubator will mean for child care programs and the families who need them.
The new child care incubator here at the Waterbury Youth Services building on Prospect Street is the second such facility in Connecticut, with another one of these incubators already open in New Britain's YWCA.
Dream Big takes on new meaning inside these two classrooms, which are part of Waterbury's first childcare incubator, made possible by the Greater Waterbury YMCA and Waterbury Youth Services.
One of her dreams is to be able to capacitate the children, to be able to prepare them to go out into the world.
Maria Martinez will call one of the classrooms hers. She's one of 23 Spanish-speaking providers graduating from the Greater Waterbury YMCA's Power Program, a 26-week program that trains people on how to set up home-based childcare businesses.
Being able to provide these certifications and these classes, and for them to better understand not only, oh, you know, hey, I want to open up a business, but actually understand why they're doing so.
Felicia Diaz is the Power Program facilitator.
So being able to give these women and men financial freedom, where they're able to, from their own home, being able to take care of these children.
And through the new incubator, the YMCA can offer those Power graduates space for their childcare programs. Both classrooms can host 6 infant toddlers and 3 after-school students.
I would say a lot of the need is not being able to have a space to have these child cares. So being able to provide, I mean, 2 might not be able to help everyone, but at least it's a start.
And this is helping people who want to open their own business, that is childcare, have both the skills to work with young children to get them ready for school, and also have a business where they can make money and be really strong community businesses.
Connecticut Office of Early Childhood Commissioner Beth Bai says 40% of Connecticut is considered a childcare desert, something the state is working to improve on through innovation. In 2021, Connecticut became the first state to pass legislation to create childcare incubators.
And this is a way to both grow centers and grow workers, all in one.
State law allows every town in the state to host a childcare incubator. Reporting in Waterbury, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.